So by now, some of you have probably heard about this story right here with this woman. I forgot. I'm not sure what her name is, but I'm sure they'll mention it in the article. As a matter of fact, her name is Juliana Carlos, and that's her right there. And she has gotten the nickname of Courtside Karen. So basically what happened was she went to a basketball game that involved the Lakers and the Hawks. And of course, LeBron James was there, and a lot of people come to see him play, almost no matter what city he's in, even though he plays for the Lakers. But this one right here decided she was going to come there and heckle LeBron James pretty much the entire time. And I think a lot of the times the reason why people do this is because he is LeBron James. Two, he tends to be outspoken whenever he chooses to be outspoken, whether or not he's going to be outspoken at certain points, whether it's worth it or not, that's really clearly on him and the person who takes it all in. But the way she did it was very, very disrespectful. Like, I saw the video and she's just standing up yelling and pointing and, doing the whole Karen act. Now, I can't play the video on here because of most likely copyrighted things. And I would play the audio, but you can't hear what she's saying. All you can hear is the people, the commentators, basically giving their take on it in their own entertaining way. But the heckling actually got so bad that the referees actually had to stop the game a little bit to, first off, calm him down because she was distracting, and to have security come and pretty much escort her and whoever she was with out of the game. It got to that point. But what I am going to play for you is the audio in which she came on camera and she gives her account of what happened. I can almost tell the embellishments is going to be strong with this one, but I'm going to go ahead and play this audio so you can hear from her what she had to say.
Just got kicked out of the game for talking shit to LeBron James, for talking shit to my fucking husband. This is such fucking bullshit. Listen, let me tell you, LeBron James looked at my husband during the game and cussed him out, and I stood up and I go, don't fucking talk to my husband. Talk to my husband one more time and I will fuck you up. And he started fighting with me. He goes, shut your mouth, dumb bitch. And I go, you shut your fucking mouth, bitch. Just got kicked out of the game for talking shit.
Okay. So that is her account. So basically, her side of the story is that LeBron James had looked at her husband the wrong way, said something to her husband that she didn't like. She came in, she defended her husband, and then she started cussing him out. He cussed back at her. And then that's when everything started to get a little bit more heated. And then that's when she got kicked out. How much you want to bet there's way more to that story than what she's telling? Now, you only heard 31 seconds of it because that's as long as the clip would go, and then it loops back over again. But I'm going to go ahead and read the article that's attached to this and see what else they're talking about. LeBron James tweeted after his run-in with a heckler in Atlanta Monday that Courtside Karen was mad. Hawks fan Juliana Carlos stayed that way during a hilariously profane explanation of her showdown with the Los Angeles Lakers star as she was being booted from the State Farm Arena during the Lakers' 107-99 victory over her team. In a social media post that went viral, Carlos said she was defending her husband and threatened to beat up James, only in more graphic terms. First off, look at her and look at him. LeBron James probably would just laugh at her at even trying to attempt to fight him. But see, she has so much, she feels that she has balls of steel, that she's one of those women that probably, just by her saying that, not even just about LeBron James, but any man, I bet you she is probably the one that always gets in confrontations with other men. She just gives me that vibe. Something tells me she's hit a couple of men in her life. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them swatted back at her, and if they hadn't, they probably should have. And it makes me wonder who's the one wearing the pants in that relationship between her and her husband. But first, here's Carla with her face mask down, yelling and pointing at James. And like I said, I can't show that video, but I explained to you what was going on. And you can't really hear anything in the video. Then you already heard the other audio. She says, just got kicked out of the game for talking shit to LeBron James for talking shit to my fucking husband, she said in video snippets. LeBron looked at my husband during the game and cussed him out, and I stood up and I told him, don't fucking talk to my husband. Talk to my husband one more time and I will fuck you up. And he started fighting with me. Shut your mouth, you dumb bitch. And I go, you shut your fucking mouth, bitch. ESPN confirmed that Carlos and her husband, Chris, and 2 others got the boot. For his part, James says he did not think the ejection was warranted and suggested Carlos and her group might have been fueled by some drinks. I'm happy fans are back in the building. I miss the interaction. I need the interaction, he said. I don't know if he's being serious or if he was being sarcastic when he said they were being fueled by drinks, implicating that this woman might be an alcoholic. If that's what he meant, then he's being very petty right now. But I'm going to go ahead and play his audio.
Fans are back in the building. I miss that interaction. I need that interaction. We as players need that interaction. I don't feel like it was warranted to be kicked out. There was a back and forth between 2 grown men, and which we said our piece. He said his piece. I said my piece, and then when someone else jumped into it and said their piece, but I think they were should have been kicked out. But they might have had a couple of drinks maybe, and they could have probably kept it going, and the game wouldn't have been about the game no more. So I think the referees did what they had to do. And I mean, it's fine. I don't think taking down the mask or whatever the case may be at that point in time would have harmed anybody but the people that was right next to her. I wasn't close enough to her. I don't think any of my teammates was close enough to them. Maybe a couple of refs, maybe. So I hope they're okay. But safety first.
Let me tell you something right now. Either he's being very politically correct or he's being very petty, and I'm leaning more towards the latter, especially with the last couple of things he said, especially part about the mask being down. He says, I didn't know because her mask is kind of down, but I wasn't near her. The rest was near her. I hope they're okay. And then, safety first. That's pettiness coming out of him when he said that. Basically implicating that, she might have, hopefully, she doesn't have whatever. And, by the rest being near her and her mask being down, her talking, that they don't catch whatever she may have, if she has it and everything like that. And you can tell by his body tone or his body language, well, I always say I'm a good reader of, he came off kind of like standoffish, like he just was there to give a statement that he didn't want to give. Because you could read it on his face that he just said whatever his reps told him to say. You can tell none of that came from the heart. He didn't mean, listen. He, in my opinion, did not mean a word of what he said. And if that is the case, it is what it is. He probably laughed his ass off when that camera got cut. He probably went back to that locker room and had a good old laugh. Probably smiling like he is in this picture. And I know that he didn't mean it because he followed up in a tweet the next day saying Courtside Karen was mad and put mad in all caps followed by 7 laughing emojis. So I know his statement didn't really mean anything. And he did it shortly after he did the post-game interview about this incident. Because the post-game clip that you heard was posted at 11:04 p.m. He posted that Courtside Karen was mad tweet at 12:01 a.m. the very next day. Like literally less than an hour apart. So if you ask me, did he mean what he said in that video? I will tell you, hell no, he didn't mean it. He probably wanted to laugh. And to look at it, he almost looked like he wanted to burst out and laugh, but he had to contain himself. But I wouldn't be surprised if this chick ends up on some kind of conservative talk show or whatever to talk about her experience dealing with LeBron James. And she just strikes me as the type of person that was just craving attention and everything like that, just so she can get some notoriety and whatnot. And I heard that some 45 supporters have been going at LeBron James for how he quote unquote handled the situation, but they didn't go at this woman right here for how she handled the situation. Because, calling a PC woman allegedly, because we don't even know what he actually said to her. We only know what she said. She claims that he called her the B word. We don't know if he called, if that's what he called it, because he didn't come out and say that that's what he called it. He just said we just exchanged where he said his piece, the husband said his piece, and then she got into it. And see, that's the problem right there. This woman, even though that's her husband, she got into the space of two men having a discussion or even an argument that she wasn't supposed to be in. This was between LeBron James and her husband, but she felt the need to jump in and insert herself into it and make a spectacle of herself. And now she's got the attention because the video ended up going viral. Then she posted up on her Instagram page and her stories about what happened. So I would not be surprised if she ends up on Tucker Carlson or any other conservative spot that doesn't like LeBron James and they say something. And speaking of not liking LeBron James, I would not be surprised if that fat tub of glue named Jason Whitlock says something. He probably already said something by the time. I bet if I was to go onto his page, which I'm not going to do, he probably has already said something. He probably already has, because we know he doesn't like LeBron James, and it's for the most pettiest of reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen A. Smith says something, because you know, black men are not supposed to assert themselves, or they're not supposed to defend themselves even in a verbal disagreement. We're supposed to just take it. What was it Laura Ingraham told him to do? To just shut up and dribble? Notice when she said that, it got real quiet from the Jason Whitlocks and the Stephen A. Smiths. Their quiet told me everything I needed to know, that they agreed with what she said. They would prefer that, not just from LeBron James, but from any black athlete or any black person, especially if you're a black man. It's levels to this thing. But I'm going to leave the rest up to you in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to text the number pinned down in the comments below so you can get notified every time I upload a new video.